Hey everyone, welcome back to Ann Arbor Pride. My name is Joe Schock. I'm the president of the Jim Toy Community Center and the director of Ann Arbor Pride. Again, I want to thank you all for joining us. This year, again, as you know, we're going virtual, but we had some community partners around that offered to host smaller, safer watch parties. We have two of those groups with us today that we are so excited to bring on and have a short little conversation with. So people at the Y, if you can give us a thumbs up if you're ready. Awesome. Hey, how are you guys doing?
We're doing great, Joe. Thank you. We're having so much fun here at the Ann Arbor YMCA at 400 West Washington in downtown Ann Arbor. And we're having a watch party. And we want to welcome anyone from the general public who wants to be a part of our event to stop on by. We have plenty of free pizza and beverages. We have the event going on a big screen and a lot of family fun activities as well. We have a photo booth, a lot of giveaways, and so we're encouraging you to have a little bit of socialization in your life and participate in our community and come here to the Ann Arbor YMCA. Also with me, I have a board member of the Ann Arbor YMCA, Laura Kelleher, who is also joining us here today to help share the importance of why the Y is a welcoming space for all.
Hi, thanks, Tony. I'm so happy to be here, and I want to put on my fancy glasses for everybody. The Y is wonderful and very awesome for the gay LGBTQ plus community. And as a member of that community, I feel incredibly supported. I love the activities here, but it's really the people it comes down to. When you walk into the building, when you're doing any activity at the Y, you just feel accepted and loved, and that's why I'm here today.
Thank you, Laura. I want to let you know about some of the activities that we have at the Ann Arbor YMCA at various times throughout the year that you can participate in. We've had an LGBTQ intergenerational dance and dinner as well that was so much fun that we did in collaboration with Sage. We've also had an Out to Swim program. We have gender embodiment workshops, and we're also welcoming other creative ideas on how we can provide programs and services that the LGBTQ community wants and needs. Again, we want to be a welcoming space for everyone in our community and feel very proud to be a diversity, equity, and inclusion Y. We've also been one of the top 20 Ys in the United States to be chosen to be a championing Y for the LGBTQ plus community, and have been very fortunate to receive grant funds from both the Biden Foundation in years past and currently the Gill Foundation, which allows us to provide financial assistance scholarships from anyone in the LGBTQ community who might need that little bit of help in participating in our programs and services here at the Y.
And that's a wonderful thing, Tony. We're really glad. And we go back to, she said, Biden administration, which is my cue to use the glasses.
It's actually a Biden Foundation prior to him becoming president.
But still, he had the glasses.
But we wanted to be able to say to you that, again, please stop by if you're looking for something fun to do this afternoon. Our LGBTQ plus family and friends Pride watch party at the Y is taking place until 5 o'clock, totally free, pizza, beverages, and lots of family fun. So please come join us here at the Ann Arbor YMCA, where we welcome you every day, not just for Pride.
Thank you all so much. We really appreciate your support, your love, and opening your doors to our entire community. I didn't know that about you all being one of the top 20 Ys that are invested in this initiative, and always happy to partner with you and look forward to doing more events together. So now before we go over to founders, we're going to jump over to a cute little video that Free Mom Hugs made for us. I hope you enjoy.
We at Free Mom Hugs Michigan can't wait to hug you again. But in the meantime, we've recited the children's book, The Hug Machine by Scott Campbell. Whoa, here I come. I am the hug machine. I am very good at hugging. The best at hugging. No one can resist my unbelievable hugs. I am the hug machine.
I am the hug machine. My hugs calm people down. They cheer them up. They make them go completely nuts.
I am the hug machine. I hug everything I see. No one escapes the hug machine. My hugs help the biggest feel small and the smallest feel big.
I hug soft things and hard things, square things and long things. I am the hug machine. Oh, do you need a hug? I think you do.
Hug accomplished. There is nothing the hug machine will not hug. What about me? I'm so spiky. No one ever hugs me.
They are missing out. What about me? Surely I'm too big to hug. Of course not. Not for the hug machine.
People often ask what the hug machine eats to keep the hugging energy high. Well, the answer is pizza. The hug machine likes pizza very much. Refueled and ready for action.
Hug, 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 hug. Whew, what a tiring day of hugging. The hug machine is exhausted and can hug no more today.
But why, yes, you may hug the hug machine. The hug machine's always open for business.
Hug Accomplished by Free Mom Hugs Michigan.
Thank you so much to Free Mom Hugs. We always appreciate your organization at every Pride. So thank you for joining us virtually. Founders, are you all ready? Give us a thumbs up. Hey founders, can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you're ready. While we wait for them to figure out some technical difficulties, it's the fun part about a live show. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Jim Toy Community Center. For those who don't know, Jim Toy is often credited as the first out gay man in Michigan. His legacy has transcended decades of experience, starting with his experience in social work, and then starting the Center for Human Sexuality at University of Michigan, which is now known as the Spectrum Center. In addition, we've been after that, we then started the Washtenaw Rainbow Action Project, or WRAP. We have a long-standing history of advocacy and community building. We have chosen to focus on Washtenaw County specifically. Throughout the years, we've built relationships with politicians, with community members, with resource groups, with community members, with the idea of building a larger community, and a more connected community. People use the Jim Toy Center in a variety of different ways, but most commonly, it's just about building connections. People reach out to us asking for connections to realtors, connections to financial services, medical or legal supports, and we as a connector in Washtenaw County are happy to do so. As you know, the Jim Toy Center had to close its doors last year during the pandemic. And we want you all to know that just because our physical place is gone doesn't mean that the Jim Toy Center is gone. We are certainly here ready to serve you and continue to grow our activism and advocacy for our community. So the money raised through our corporate sponsors and through viewers like you, we really want to put on some more programming, some more educational programming, build more networks, and just build that visibility across Washtenaw County. So looks like Founders is having a little bit of trouble, so we might try and, unless you can hear us? Okay. We're just gonna hang on. Can you hear us, Founders?
Yes.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, doing good, thanks.
We are so glad to have you with us today. What's going on in the tap room?
We have the Ann Arbor Pride viewing show going on from 11 to 9 today. So definitely stop by and see us. We have great food specials. We'll be handing out free swag throughout the day. We're having a blast watching all the local artists, bands, and amazing drag performers virtually. So come down, sip a pint, and celebrate with us.
Wish I could be there. I would love to swing by. We'll definitely have to do that. Could you tell us about what Pride means to founders?
Yeah, absolutely. Pride just means being, for us, being proud of who you are as a person. So celebrating your full unique self. That's what it means to us.
I love that. I love that not only the people that enter your bar are in a safe place, but your employees, and you're really helping to build that community. And, it should mention that you are in Detroit. So, we really appreciate you helping spread the message beyond Washtenaw County and into our neighbor.
Yeah, absolutely. We love being a part of the community, and especially the LGBTQ plus community. So great to be a part of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Well, I'll have to see you soon for that pint.
Bye.
Thanks all. We appreciate it. And Pride certainly would not be possible without the support of our sponsors, whether they be businesses, philanthropies, organizations, nonprofits, or individuals like yourself. So we're going to take a few minutes and show some videos from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
At Founders Brewing, we asked ourselves, what if we brewed a beer perfect for any occasion? A beer that makes a weekday feel more like the weekend, and the weekend feel more like an adventure. What if we celebrated taste and flavor and life's simple pleasures? And what if we brewed a beer that could go where you go without slowing you down? What if? Founders All Day IPA, low ABV and full flavor that goes where you go. Chase your what if.
The thing I love most about Pride at Nexian is that it simply exists. Nexian encourages us to be ourselves and to promote personal growth.
Pride at Nexian is a reminder that we work in a place where inclusion and acceptance are not just words.
I can show up to work as I am without question.
Our company and our employees support one another to be our true and authentic selves.
Everyone is very, very open about who they are, and everyone shows it.
I'm going to read another poem for you all about leaving and finding new homes. When I finally leave New York, I'm going to burn everything that reminds me. I'm going to read another poem for you all about leaving and finding new homes. When I finally leave New York, I'm going to burn everything that reminds me of you. This is about flooding grief over stolen land. I am an adult. I have learned how to let go of the sand that sharpens into glass for my own stubborn heat. No cliche Phoenix references to wash under. It's just about the fire. Its hot white glow I sit in. How easy I could find another you in a city of yous toppling each other to get to me. It's not that I'm done with love, just with loving others more than I can love myself. What sin I pack my throat with is leaving. Why not taste the salt in the flame instead? Make something of all this rain. See how much it can burn until it finally kills itself for me too. I hope you all are enjoying Ann Arbor Pride, and I'm going to read another poem from this set of Leaving New York. When I finally leave New York, I'm going to burn everything mapped in my death. Watch me play choreographer. Again, I am drawing lines in what I do not own. Let's call it America. It's red, slicing down my sides, the delicate meat of ancestry. A man questions the faith of my mouth, my throat, a tapestry of stories this country wishes not to remember. I am a ghost, painted across linen white walls. Let's call it redistricting, redlining, removing the stains, a country of brown bleaching in the sun. Let's call it what it is, blood. When I leave, I want to burn the blood, drawing these lines until it boils over onto the laminate floors. I want them to know I was here, and when I left, it was with everything and nothing at the same time. Thank you. Hey, it's Jason B. Crawford again one more time, and I'm going to leave you with this last poem. When I finally leave New York, I'm going to burn everything. And if it were to be that simple, spark a match between the twigs of my two fingers, watch the purple flame spread up my elbow, caress the shoulders fat, bite softly at the crown of my neck, the smoke choking me out like only a good love would. By everything, I mean to include myself to this pyre of small disasters, the thin grease of want stoking the white heat. I am learning how to burn a house down from the inside. Let's take it from there, from the top. The reincarnation of my blood pooling in another man's mouth. What we mistake for lust is often a form of violence in action. I've seen what fire can devastate in one's capable hands. I've stopped questioning where I belong, just how long before something with more gasoline comes to fizzle me out. Maybe this is the only true way to leave. Find a new land. I want to know what is different there. Boys of inflammable carbon limbs. Boys of the rising heat's dark, cold kiss. Boys pulled from the gut of the flame, still drenched from its wet, smoking tongue. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed the poems, and I hope you're enjoying your Ann Arbor Pride. Stay safe. Love you all.
Let's give a big round of applause for Jason. Jason, thank you so much for your beautiful words. You've been a longtime partner with us, and we always looking forward to have you. And also a big round of applause for our sponsors. Again, this could not be done without you. Now we have a really special treat. In the spirit of of community and outreach and togetherness. We have the director of the Trans Sistas of Color Project and Ruth Ellis Center, Liliana Reyes.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, how is everyone? Happy Pride. I know this is probably a little different for you, like it is for me. I don't think I've ever filmed Pride before, but here we are. I'm really super excited, and thank you so much for allowing me to come and speak at Ann Arbor Pride. I've loved Ann Arbor Pride since I can remember. My name is Liliana Angel Reyes. I am a brown, indigenous, Mexican trans woman. And it's really important, I think, because we have to remember that Pride started with Black and brown trans women fighting to be respected, and then it came into a bigger movement. And so I'm really honored to be here because I think it's important in these Pride celebrations. It's become a celebration and a happiness and family things and all kinds of stuff, but we have to remember if we're not uplifting those Black and brown trans women, then really we're not really doing much to be prideful of. So again, my name is Liliana Reyes. I am the executive director of Trans Sistas of Color Project. Trans Sistas of Color Project is near and dear to my heart. It was started by Black trans women before me and given to me to lead. We have 10 board members. There are 2 brown trans women, and then there are 8 Black trans women. And so this organization uplifts the voices of Black and brown trans women in the Metro Detroit area, in or from. We give emergency assistance when they can't get emergency assistance anywhere else. We uplift our girls through job applications, getting them to and from their job, feeding them a little bit. We love on them because for Black and brown trans women, we have the highest murder rates in all of the LGBT community and in many other communities. It also looks like the people who love us are the people who kill us. And so that should resonate with you, that the people who love us in the dark kill us in the light when people find out that they love or are attracted to trans bodies. And so often the dialogue is spent where Black and brown trans people are tricking people or trying to do something really sneaky. And in fact, many of us are living our lives going to the grocery store and someone finds us attractive. And then if they find out we're trans, they murder us. And it really is just as clear and dry as that. There have been girls in the city of Detroit. So when we're talking about Ann Arbor Pride, we're very close to Metro Detroit. And so we should be thinking about all the violence that happens to our community and uplifting them. And there have been girls that have been walking through a park in daylight, living their best life. And someone says, I think that's a trans person, and shoots them and sometimes murders them. And so our organization, Trans Sistas of Color Project, understands that often the LGBT community overlooks our bodies and focuses on bigger laws and bigger things that really don't impact us at all. And so many organizations talk about working with Black and brown trans women, but they really truly don't. And when we die or our lives don't have value in the greater public, it's just kind of pushed aside. And so our organization uplifts them, uplifts us, because most of us, if we transition young, Black and brown trans women will be dead by the time we're 30 or 35. And that's a really scary, scary number. And so while people are living their authentic life until 80 or 90, it's not often us. And so our organization helps to build a lot of that hope and a lot of the love. We also work to do name changes, birth certificate changes. We helped with the Secretary of State to change the gender form. We were one of the people that helped with the training, and we thank all the people that work with Governor Whitmer's office and everyone, because they do great things with us. And so we are at the table now. We weren't before, but we are now. And so our organization is going really strong. And we help over 100 trans women of color in the Metro Detroit, or from the Metro Detroit, because our girls are all over the world, but their connections are still in Metro Detroit, so we still uplift them. I think it's important when we're talking about this, I often hear the question, well, why just Black and brown trans women? And if what I said before didn't answer that, I'll say something similar. That because our lives are pushed aside, because our lives are more than just celebrating who we are, we literally are dying to be authentically who we are. So when you don't center the most marginalized, you're not doing a great job at social justice. So centering the most marginalized, anyone benefits, anyone and everyone benefits. And that includes Black liberation, that includes BLM. When you center the most marginalized, everyone benefits. And so for Trans Sisters of Color Project, we do that work. We do the work no one else wants to do. We figure out ways to cash app people without having people do ridiculous steps and processes that really make no sense, nor is needed. And so we know that systems work, that work that people don't like to do, is important because trans women of color go through all the systems. So that's one organization that I work with. The other one is the Ruth Ellis Center. And hopefully everyone in this world, everyone who's seen this has heard about the Ruth Ellis Center. It is a homeless serving agency for LGBT youth, mostly Black and brown. And so it is located in Highland Park, Detroit metro area. It is a beautiful organization that truly uplifts and believes that the youth that we serve could one day become executive director. And so in that work, we have a pipeline program. We have a lot of coaching. My department, the Drop-In Center, I'm the Drop-In Center director, is 100% Black and brown bodies who are from the community that we serve. Because the Ruth Ellis believes that if you're serving people, but there's no direct connection between the success of your organization and the success of their community, then you're not really doing it right. And so we believe in hiring within the community because the community knows what's best for them. And then our job is to find systems work and coaching work. I am a brown trans woman who did all kinds of things in my life to make sure that I was okay. And so I am a youth of the Ruth Ellis Center, and now I'm a director. And so we have managers and people that are on board who come from the people that we serve, and not as a token, but as an actual voice that we support. And so the Ruth Ellis Center, excitingly so, is going to be opening the first permanent supportive housing shelter for LGBT youth in the state of Michigan, in the city of Detroit. And early next year, the building is going on, it's looking really great. The building should be open early next year, which could house over 40 young people, and it's the first of its kind. So there are a lot of people that do homeless work or houseless work, and this Ruth Ellis truly believes in being more than just a numbers, quantity type organization. And so we know for a fact that short-term and kind of shorter-term supportive housing doesn't really work. That sometimes people have so much trauma in their lives, it's going to take more than 3 or 5 years for them to figure it out. And so we believe that if they have case managers and spaces that support all of who they are, whether that's ballroom or drag or whoever and whatever they are, and how they see themselves in this world, if we can support them and also help them get to be able to sustain whoever they are and whatever they are, that we can uplift not just them, but the entire community. And there's really not a year amount for that. So permanent supportive housing allows folks to stay there for an extended period of time with a lot of support and a lot of love and a lot of care, because we don't just want to say we've housed 100 people a year, but those 100 people don't have a lot of support. And so if you've heard of the Ruth Ellis Center, you can Google us, you can ruthelliscenter.org. It is named after a Black lesbian, which is so beautiful, that our organization uplifts a Black lesbian who in the early 1900s was an out Black lesbian who owned a printing press, which is so many firsts in and of itself. And she just believed that young people, LGBT people, should have a place to dance, have fun, and be them. And so back in those days, early 1900s, LGBT people didn't have a lot of rights. And so she knew that, and she opened up spaces, her and her partner opened up spaces to allow these young people who might have went on to change the world to just be and dance and be free. And so our agency is namesaked after her, and we feel her presence, we feel the beauty that she had to open up our space. The Drop-In Center is open Mondays and Wednesdays between 3 p.m. and about 8:30. We offer food boxes, we offer warm food. We also cater to the ballroom scene a lot because that's what we service. And so there's voguing, there's all kinds of really fun stuff there that happen. There's a clothing closet called Roos Closet. There's a computer space. There are case managers that help people with either housing or employment. And if they don't help you there, they'll make an appointment to help you at a later date. And again, all of this is gearing up towards our permanent supportive housing. We also work with the Henry Ford Health System. So it is there are some places that have it, but to me, it's one of the best that work with youth who are trans, who are HIV positive, who are living with other chronic illnesses, and it's affirming. It's a really beautiful place. Black and brown trans people work there as well. And so we always think about what it looks like for our youth to lead. And so we have lots of youth advisory board meetings and councils to allow our youth to really push Ruth Ellis to where we need to go. And so that's allowed us to move, not only build a homeless shelter, but build a homeless shelter that was literally created by the people that we serve, which means that they touch the tactiles, I think that's what it's called, on the walls and on the ceilings. I'm not a construction person, but you get the picture. Carpets and stuff. So they like figured out all that, and that's what's gonna go into the new space. So when the youth come, they can say, I helped create this. It wasn't some diagram given to us and we were like, great, that's not how we work at the Ruth Ellis Center. And so very big kudos to Jerry Peterson, who's the executive director of the Ruth Ellis Center, and thank you for believing in Black and brown bodies. I think that it takes allies and a lot of ally work to help move us to a place of greatness. And so I, as a young person, I grew up in Saginaw, Michigan, if you've ever heard of that place. Not too far from here. So I grew up, I transitioned at 17. And so when I transitioned very early, and I had Mexican parents. They weren't too excited about everything, Mexican Catholic, I should say. And so when I transitioned, there was no doctors, there was no place like Ruth Ellis Center or Trans Sisters of Color Project in Saginaw, really, or anywhere within a 30-mile radius that helped people like me. So I felt really alone. And so my life's work and the life's work that I've helped breathe into other organizations is really creating a space for people who feel alone. And so I transitioned in a time where you couldn't just go to your doctor or go to a health center and say, hey, I need hormones. Like, they would look at you like you're ridiculous. And so I had to order my hormones from far, far away that may or may not have been hormones, but there were things that I had to do, that a lot of people had to do before we are in this space, before the prides were happening, before a lot of gender affirming care happened, before people like me were on USA Today. All of those things were really in the dark. I changed my name, I changed my gender marker. It was much more difficult. Ignorance was ridiculous. And so even in the Secretary of State, regardless of who ran it, there were a lot of nervousness. People like me went through illegal silicone injection. And I think that's important when we talk about health, because both Ruth Ellis Center and Trans Sisters of Color believe in health for our communities. And so there are all kinds of things now that people can get done that are legit that we couldn't before. And so the struggle to be a brown trans woman led me to then do everything that I've done, but still hold that trauma. And I think that's important, that many of the people that lead these organizations, not many, some of the people who lead the organizations or are doing the work have a tremendous amount of trauma and struggle on them. And I don't think that we've given them space to heal from that. And so I think it's a part of our job as allies of other bodies, other identities. It's our job to create space for people when you don't understand their trauma and their triggers, but also to create space for those marginalized identities, especially now gender non-conforming folks and queer folks, which is a brand new, it's newer to me because I transitioned a million years ago, but it's so beautiful to see that this is where we are in this world, that whoever you are could look so many different ways. I think that breaking down those gender stereotypes could have helped a lot of us when we were coming out, not do things to our body that we don't have to really do because we're all beautiful however we are and however we identify. And so all of that really hippie kind of stuff to say that we as a community need to uplift each other. We as a community need to remember who started Pride. And then if we as a community all center the most marginalized, even if that's not us, we would be at a completely different place. And we would be funded and we could have fun. We wouldn't have to do things that we don't want to have to do for some sponsors we may not want to have to. Not none of these, but just in general. So with that, thank you all for letting me ramble. Much love and light from, again, the Ruth Ellis Center and Trans Sisters of Color Project. And thank you for everything. Again, my name is Liliana Reyes. You could probably Google me if you wanted to get in contact with me. Thank you.
Hey, how are you? Wonderful. So nice to see your face.
I know.
Yes, that was Liliana Reyes with the Trans Sister of Colors Project. Are you leading that?
Yes, I'm
Yes. High five. All right. Yes, I am not mad at that at all. Got to support our trans brothers and sisters. Hello. Guess what? We'll be right back. So don't go anywhere, okay?